to right field, way up there, and way out of here!
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to a celebratory edition of the Phixated podcast. I am your jubilant host, Mike Azzy, and I'm joined by my ecstatic co-host, Regzy Boo. Buddy. 2 straight years in the NLCS.
I'm so sweaty. I'm still shaking. I don't know. I just laid on the floor after the pitch. I just laid on the floor because I didn't know how else to react. I was so stressed out in that entire game.
For the second straight year, the Phillies knock out the Braves, buddy.
Unbelievable.
The Braves have still not beaten the Phillies in a postseason series.
We just beat Strider twice.
Yeah, and you know what? I know he was still like good tonight, but this was the best the Phillies have ever.
Oh yeah,
they had so many good swings. Even some of the outs were they had traffic every inning.
Yeah,
there was traffic every inning. The approach tonight was, look. And this is general. We're going to go through the game as we've done every game of the postseason so far. But the approach tonight was the fastball's heavy. When you hit it, it's basically like a brick.
Yeah.
The bat stops. So we're going to try and pound the slider if he leaves it in the zone. And the 2 of the 3 home runs tonight were sliders. And then Nick decided that he was going to get funky with it and turn on 100. The dude turned on 100.
Good Lord. That kid never goes to school again until the playoffs are over.
No.
He's at every
school
game.
Doesn't exist
I don't care if it's in Arizona. I don't care if it's on the fucking moon. Liam Castellanos is going to be at the game.
Yeah, that kid is so fun.
But look what happens. And again,
dude,
it's such a cool story.
Yeah.
But it's like, if this is what it takes to get Nick like this, I'll pay for the kid to get there. You know?
For sure.
Does he need a chaperone? Sure. Like, I'll be a tutor, you can help out. Yeah. You can pitch in.
Yeah.
We got it. We got it covered.
Yeah. Did you hear his interview after the game, Nick?
Yes, it was great. Again, Matt Weiner is not good at his job, which makes it even more funny.
It's just his response to, like, he just says whatever.
Oh my God,
thinking.
there's nothing. There's no filter.
If you didn't hear it, go look it up. It's floating on Twitter. Weiner started the interview by like spouting off 3 straight sentences without a question, and Nick goes, "What was the question?"
Yeah. Thank you for telling me that.
Thank you for telling me that. Oh God.
There's just such it's again, there are people who are like that in the world, and we know plenty of them who just do that stuff to be assholes. It's really funny when you have someone who, like, 50% of it, he just likes being an asshole, but the other 50% is he just finds it really, really funny. You know?
I just think that's who he is, man.
Yeah. So it's just like he just can't stop himself. He's like, "Oh my gosh, this is going to be the best." I bet he watches it back later and he laughs, like when he's just laying in bed. Yeah, he's just giggles, silently giggling.
Yeah. So they're doing the "Who's Your Daddy" thing on Fox right now, or TBS with Pedro, and 84% of America voted for Nick.
Yeah,
but Pedro went with Topper, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But yeah, so I started for my website, like with my speaking and writing. I started writing a blog post about Nick Castellanos, and just like the type of person he is.
Yeah,
from like the leadership perspective, like what it looks like from the sports side. I haven't gotten it done yet. I'm really trying to make it perfect because he is, dude, he's just, there's so much about him to like. Yeah. There's so much about him to like. And we saw that tonight. So you mentioned you fell on the floor after they won. I jumped around my hotel and broke my chain. So
hopefully you can fix it.
I have to work on fixing that over the course of, once we're done here. I'm gonna have to, and like, so if you can't tell, it's actually baseball bats in the form of a cross.
Yeah.
Right. So,
which I think you have a very similar tattoo of, don't you?
And it's curved.
Don't you have a tattoo like that?
No, my tattoo is actually a cross.
Oh.
Yeah, it's not baseball bats.
I knew it was a cross. So at least
I think music just started playing in my ears here, Regz.
I don't hear it, so that's great.
Yeah.
Is it Dancing on My Own?
Andy Grammer.
I was about to say.
It was Andy Grammer.
Not a bad choice either.
So one more thing before we start talking about the game itself. We did not talk the entire
This might have been the worst thing that happened tonight.
We promised the faithful listeners that we would stick with what happened during Game 3, which we did not text at all because Regz thought that I was watching from behind. And I didn't want to bother him during the live viewing of the game. So we decided on our last episode that we were going to continue this unless it got bad, unless it got ugly. And it just never got ugly. I mean, it got close to ugly a few times. And as we recap the game, we're gonna highlight the moments during which we consider texting.
By the way, to the point that if you didn't know how much Azzy and I text each other during these games, and you can include Eagles games in this, and even some Sixers games that I actually do watch. My wife, I was getting ping, the dings on my phone from my brother and a buddy of mine, who's an Orioles fan, but just likes, talking about what's going on. And then it just kind of went quiet. And she just said, what is don't you and Azzy usually text during? Because I wasn't even going to my phone to text you something like I would usually. So it was that's how much we do text usually, to the point that my wife noticed the absence of texting.
It's hysterical. So I'm watching these games by myself right now, and I have a group of people who will text me during the game. So also Pistachio Azzy is back.
Of course,
he's not going anywhere.
I was about to say he can't go anywhere. Yeah.
No, Pistachio Azzy is here for the run. But I have a group of people that I text. Most listeners to the show. So I have Adam Schaefer who texts me during the game. He's been behind. So this is the first time I've ever been ahead of people.
Oh, that's a fun twist.
Yeah, this is different for me.
Yeah.
So I have to wait. There was a point tonight. It was the game tying home run where I just I put dots. I just sent him dots, waiting for him to see it. But then Randy, Roger, Brian, all these people who listen to the game. I have the Kyle, all these people who listen to the podcast. I'm texting during the game, and usually you as well. So it was weird tonight because there are times where I'll say the same thing to everybody. I'll just I'll go through and just copy paste, right? Not that I don't love all of you, but if I'm gonna make a point, I'm gonna make it to all of you because we're all having the same conversation. So don't be bothered by that. It's all out of love. But I would start to think, all right, Regz, and I was like, no, I can't text Regz, because of our agreement. So
we're gonna get into the situations.
We did decide though, for everybody listening, that we're gonna step back into our normalcy, and we are gonna text in the NLCS because we only did this after the Braves tied the series, and
that's true.
We needed to.
This was not a Marlins series thing either.
No, we didn't do it during the Marlins series. We didn't do it during Game 1.
Yep.
It just so happened during Game 3 when they won. And that we didn't text, so we continued doing it during Game 4. It's a new series. We've never not texted during a series, and they've been pretty successful in the last 2 years. So if something should happen where it's not going well, I'm going to tell Regz to lose my number, just so we all know.
I won't. Right? I'll just show constraint.
That's fine. That works for me. All right, so let's dive into the actual action of the evening.
Oh
the
my
action
God.
that, holy moly. So my former elementary school principal she lives in Arizona, and she and I are friends on Facebook, and she's actually like a big part of my book that is coming out here soon. And she just texted me or sent me a message on Facebook. She's like, I have a problem. What do I do? Like, my staff's already texting me. Am I cheering for Arizona? Am I cheering for the Phillies? So I'll respond to you in a little bit, Miss H. I got some work to attend to here. But you know what my answer is going to be. All right. So let's go ahead and start right away here in the first inning. Ranger Suarez gets the nod for the Phils, and the dude immediately just comes out firing peas. Gets Acuna to ground out. Azzy, who had the same swing in 2 straight at bats, by the way.
Yeah.
And who was just awful in this series.
Yeah.
Just awful in this series. Yeah, I've never been scared of Ozzy Albies.
I have. I don't know why.
Yeah, I don't know. I've just never been scared of Ozzy Albies, and this series kind of just further cemented that for me. I'll probably regret that at some point.
I'll knock on wood for you.
Yeah, but right now I just don't. And then Riley lined out to Johan Rojas, who literally just caught the ball.
Yeah,
right
he
here
didn't have to move.
Like, and then the Phils come up in the bottom. Oh, one thing I wanted to mention about Ranger coming off the field. Did you see him just tossing his glove in the air?
Yeah.
Like, he's like a kid walking off a little league field on like a Saturday morning playing like a game in the middle of like May. I said it last night and I'm going to say it a million more times. This dude feels nothing.
I don't know how, like, again, we could talk about it later or now, whatever you want to do, but
let's wait till the 5th, but go ahead and say what you're going to say.
I just mean, who else, like, there's no one else on this pitching staff that you want out there. I mean, again, Wheeler. But after you use those guys as the third option, this guy is like as good as it gets.
Yeah. He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He's unbelievable. So, all right. So the Strider thing, fans are, they're into it. They're loud. Dude comes out pumping 99
Listen,
and 100.
newsflash, he's still really effing good at pitching. Shocker.
Yeah. Comes out pumping 99 and 100. Schwarber, got to get going, bro.
Can we get going. We have to talk about this. What's going on with our boy?
He
just missed another one tonight too.
Yeah, he's just a tick off. Timing is just a tick off. Some of that could be just matchups in this series aren't great for him. Like, Strider threw him a lot of stuff up in the zone hard. He threw a lot of sliders to him. The Minter matchup isn't good for him. The what do you call it matchup? The hand matchups.
Well, yeah, that's terrible. Yeah.
Right. And so's Max Fried. Not good for him. So, he just was kind of in a weird and obviously the Marlins series with in 2 nights.
It's weird to see him look so overmatched.
I'm gonna tell. I feel like the Diamondback series is the breakout series because they're loaded. They're loaded with righties in the rotation.
Yeah.
So, Trey comes up. Trey had a huge.
Oh my goodness, God. Trey Turner. Jeez.
My God. And I'll tell you what. I said this on an episode, and I'm never gonna remember which it was, but I said I hope because he's always struggled in the postseason. That he goes from, I really struggled this season to I'm going to have a huge postseason. And so far, Trey has been incredible.
What was he, 0 for 17 really against Strider?
Yeah. And tonight he was 3 for 3. And then he singled off of Minter in the
Yeah.
Yeah. And whenever he gets on base, he's basically taking second.
Well, he only didn't do it so they wouldn't walk Harper. Like, that was literally the only reason.
I'm curious to see what happens in the Diamondback series, and we're going to preview that on.
I'm sure he starts being as aggressive as he was in the beginning of the series. I don't think.
No, I mean, in terms of pitching to Harp, like I'm curious to see what happens.
Yeah.
So, They did. They threw 3 pitches to Harp, and then when it was 3-0 and he didn't chase anything, they put him on. This was the struggle for me tonight, even more so than Schwarber. Alec Boehm really having a hard time. But look, when you think about the rest of the series, Boehm was fine. Games 1 and 4, Boehm was awful because Spencer Strider really just screws with him.
Yeah.
He cannot decide
what he's
getting fastball or slider.
Yeah.
He can't. He can't recognize it. So he is geared up.
And he can't catch up to the fastball.
Well, I think part of the reason is because the plan tonight was hit the slider.
Yeah.
That was the plan. But he can't hit the slider.
Right. He can't not swing at it either.
Right. So he strikes out in a big spot there. And then Stoddy, who had some good swings and in that at bat, ended up flying out to end the inning. Ranger comes out in the second and goes 1-2-3 again. Real quick 1-2-3, pop up to Trey, ground out to Trey, and then struck out Murphy on strikes. And he was bringing it. I mean, he was
That's like 96 at one point. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I do think that they were saying empty the tank.
Yeah.
You're gonna get 2 times through the order probably, and then that'll be it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then again in the bottom of the second, the Phillies got some traffic. Real Muto flew out to start the inning. Nicky walked, had a really good at bat.
Yeah,
really good at bat. B came up and singled. By the way, Brandon Marsh.
Love that he kept it rolling. Loved it.
Yeah, and then got a hit against the lefty too.
Yep, huge.
Really big for this team. Really big for this team. So they have first and second, and then Johan Rojas hit a bullet.
He did.
Like off the bat, I was like, "That's down," and I think he hit it too hard. I think it just stayed on way too long. And Michael, so I looked at, I did see it, dude. The expected batting average was like 8.
Yeah. Look, the guy like Michael Harris is just a really good center fielder. I know we don't like him, but like the dude is just a really good center fielder.
I mean, honestly, on the list of Braves that
he's certainly down the list. Yeah, I think
he's probably where he bats.
He's more annoying. 9th. He's more annoying just because of how good he is in the field.
Yeah.
But look, I thought it dropped. I thought it bounced when I first saw it.
Yeah.
And it did not bounce. And Casty just kind of made a decision. He was just gone as soon as it got hit. He kind of decided. So that one was a bummer.
Two things here. The first being, I do love this Braves that we hate thing because I'm thinking about in what order do I hate the Braves?
We can do this if you want to.
I kind of want to do it really quickly.
Yeah, let's do it.
Wait till the end of the show.
No, let's do it right now.
We're gonna do it right now.
Yeah, let's do it right now.
So number one on my list is now Orlando Arcia.
Oh, see, I still have Acuna.
Yeah, well, listen. Well, hold on. It's actually Marcell Ozuna is number 1 for me.
Okay,
take it.
I still have Acuna.
That guy.
Acuna is number 1, always and forever.
Yeah, Arcia is gonna be number 2. Acuna's for me.
I think I go Acuna 1. Riley too. See, I just don't care about Marcell Ozuna. I don't care.
I do.
It's not a
jerk.
Well, yeah, sure.
Domestic violence and a DUI, and he's still
I'm not saying he's a good person. You know, I'm just like in terms of baseball hate. I'm Acuna's 1. I think Riley is 2, and Darno is 3. I hate those guys.
All right, that's fair. I mean, Darno,
again, Arcia hasn't like Arcia. Thank you. You gave me what I wanted. You gave me angry Bryce Harper. It's all I wanted. Mm-hmm. And if you don't,
Spencer Strider is also.
Oh, Strider's 4. Yeah, Strider. No, Strider beats Darno. It goes Acuna, Riley, Strider, Darno. Yeah, absolutely. Strider has to be in the top 3.
So it's Ozuna Strider for me.
Yeah,
dude. Did you see him when they pulled him? How mad he was?
Yeah, good.
He was.
Casty just yanked 100 on you, pal.
Yeah. I mean, this could be a whole show.
It could be. It could be. Yeah, and then we'll do the Mets next.
They're just a bunch of hate the fake guy.
Well, then we'll do we can do the Mets right after that.
Strider might have surpassed Nimmo for me. Yeah, I can't stand
That's some breaking news.
I can't stand. First of all, wear pants that fit.
Yeah,
Second of all,
tight pants is tough.
What is it with your foot when you start your one? Like, what is that? Why are your feet broken?
That's interesting.
Why do you do that? It looks dumb. Like, obviously you never miss leg day.
Yeah.
For you.
It's a very Azzy thing to be mad about.
Yeah, well, he's a clown.
Yeah.
And lastly, the only thing he has going for him is he finally got rid of just the mind through a whole beard.
Yeah.
Because he looked like a moron.
He still looks like a moron, but anyway.
Yeah, well, I mean.
And look, I think the reason he's 3 for me is because now we own him in the playoffs. It's official.
Yeah.
And whatever the regular season happens, whatever. But like, I still hate Austin Riley because he just seems to kill us all the time. He's replacing Freddie Freeman for me, unlike that guy that.
Yeah, I mean, is what it is. They haven't beaten us.
And again, Ronald Acuna takes like the Bryce Harper mantle of just like a guy. If he was on my team, I would love unconditionally because he's so effing good at baseball.
Yeah, but I think part of the love of Bryce, and then we're gonna get back into the recap. I think part of the love of Bryce Regz is the way he plays.
Sure.
And Ronald Acuna doesn't play the same way as Bryce.
That's a fair point.
Yes, he is ultra talented. Like, you know how I feel about him.
Yeah.
He is ultra talented. But many times in this series, there were balls that were hit that he dogged. Like, he dogged to first base.
No, listen, you're not wrong. But like, look, if you were going to ask me what I didn't like about Bryce Harper before he became a Philly, it was his attitude and like how he's like a prima donna and a baby. And like, again, I think a lot of that, the difference is he's a dad now. He's a husband. He's in his 30s and he was not in his 20s, when he's first coming up in Major League Baseball as the chosen one. It's like, look, things happen. I just think, like, does any Braves fan care that Acuna like didn't run to first? Like, no, because the guy's just uber talented. And maybe that's a difference between Atlanta and Philadelphia. That could be.
Yeah.
I just still hate him just because I think he's a cocky son of a bitch, and I hate that he's so good.
Yeah, he's something. All right, so let me tell you this story. I told you I was.
Yes.
So when Nick got doubled off, I was texting with a bunch of people, all criticizing his base running, and fairly so. But there's part of me that's like defending him, even though I shouldn't have. It's not a good base running play.
Yeah.
The reason I'm defending him is because when I was 16, I had a very similar, like almost replica moment as a baseball player. I was on second base. It was like the 4th inning. It was a tie game. The pitcher we were facing was really good. He actually got drafted. Really good pitcher. So we're just trying to scratch runs across, right?
Yeah.
And our three hitter hits a rope to center field. I mean, I heard it go over my head at second base. So I clear it. Like, I am bolting.
Yeah.
And I see my third base coach with his hands on his hip as I'm like getting the third. And I'm like, what happened? Like, he's not waving me.
Yeah.
No, he's got his hands on his hips. And I turn and look over my shoulder, and the center fielder into second base. So I'm out. Doubled off, right? 10 the inning, and whatever. So they end up scoring the next inning. They score a run. And in the bottom of the 6th, I come back up with runners on first and second, hit a 2-run double. So I responded to one of the groups and said, part of the reason I'm being like super defensive about this is because I was in this position, but I will say that I came back and got a big hit for us. Foreshadowing, Nick did something similar. So, moving to the 3rd, Ranger continues to just cruise. Pilar, I actually thought that
So did I.
And so did Brian Anderson.
Yeah.
But Marsh caught it at the wall. Arcia grounded out. I know we said that Arcia didn't have a good series and didn't hurt us at all, but every time he came to the plate, there was this part of me that
scared.
He's
I was
absolutely going to do
I was
something,
worried. Yep.
Right. So he grounded out to Trey, and the throw was weird on.
I hate the way Trey Turner throws the baseball sometimes.
Yeah, when he backhands,
he throws a fucking sinker. Like he just I literally told my 9-year-old this because he plays shortstop for his travel team. I said, Cole, this is why I tell you to throw upright. This is why I tell you to throw overhand, because when you throw like this, you're throwing a sinker. You're throwing a ball that's it just whoosh, it is diving towards the ground.
Yep. It is not. It is a very difficult ball.
Yeah.
For a first baseman to catch.
Especially when you have to go quickly. Like I get it when he sets his feet and he's able to kind of put some loft on it, there's a difference. But when you have to quickly throw it and that's your default, like again, we're going to see what happens.
So then another ground ball to him, and this time he fielded it awkwardly. Like he charged it but backhanded it on the charge and threw across his body and spiked it. Now, I think in like a year, as Harper gets used to,
he probably catches that. Yes,
he probably makes that play because it was a pickable ball. It's just not a comfortable one.
He kind of went at it a little too hard. That's one of those plays where if you get the feel of first base, it bounced high enough that your stretch isn't that far, your arm isn't that extended. Like you're still going to get it, but you're letting that bounce kind of happen. He was kind of trying to catch it too low on the bounce. And it was a bigger bounce than I think he expected.
Bold take here. At some point before he ends his career, Bryce Harper's going to win a Gold Glove at first base.
He's been very good.
Yeah.
Have there been little things? Of course there have.
But he's played less than 40 games.
But that's what I mean. A lot of those things have been feel. They haven't been the mechanics of it.
The 8th inning of tonight's game was very much feel.
Yes.
Now Ranger got Acuna to ground out. Like it's just Ranger on everything the guy does.
It's crazy.
So Randy said this tonight. He texted us, great listener of the show. Texted me tonight and said, I wish that I did anything in as calmly and collectively as Ranger Suarez pitches in the postseason. And I think that's a very fair assessment of anybody.
Yeah.
Regz, I wish I did anything as coolly and as confidently and as collectedly as Ranger Suarez pitches in the postseason. Phillies again in the third get some pressure. Schwarber just missed that ball to lead off the inning. Like a tick off another inch onto the barrel, and that ball is gone, dead gone in the center field. So I feel like he's close. I feel like he's right there. Trey then singled in the left. Bryce then singled in the right. They had first and third with one out, and comes Alec Bohm again. And this time, Alec decided he was going to try and get out early.
Yeah.
In this at bat and try and get a ball into play. And he swung at a slider a couple of inches off the plate, got it off the end of the bat. And Ozzy Albies made the play in shallow right field. So that left it up to, once again, Bryson Stott. Bryson battled, got to 3-1, was auto taking for some reason.
Yeah, like a dead red, like Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, it was up, like it was
but
up
still
in the zone.
Not enough. Like, come on.
No, but I think he was just trying to find a way on base and
I get it,
but also again, like we've said about, I said it actually, I think I said it in game.
You did.
2. Like, I'm good with Bryson taking a 3-1 pitch in a big spot because I know he's going to battle. Like, I know he's going to fight.
So, listen, I understand that, but I think his evolution as a hitter is like 3-1 down the middle. I get it. It was a little up, but like, what else are you looking for?
Yeah, that's fair.
Again, I completely agree. The man has more 2-strike hits than anybody in baseball. So I'm not questioning the fact that he can hit with 2 strikes. But you're taught from the time you're 8 years old, if it's 3-1 and if it's all you're looking for is a strike. And in a certain zone, yes. Yeah. Like that was again, I get it was a touch elevated, but that ball's essentially middle.
Well, here's the thing though. Also, I don't even think it was a zone thing. He
Oh yeah, no, exactly. You're right. In that scenario, you're absolutely right. He was just the bat wasn't coming off the shoulder. But I'm just talking. I'm talking about why I'm frustrated with it is because when it's a 3-1 count, you're taught from the time you're 9 years old, look for a pitch in a spot. But if it's middle, like it's go time, baby. And if you miss it, whatever, you're 2 strikes and you fouled it off or whatever, and no one's gonna get mad at you, even if you like pounded into the ground. You swung at a good pitch. Mm-hmm. I was flabbergasted that he took that strike and left the bat on his shoulder.
Yeah. Well, and then he fouled off 99 off the inside part of the plate. But that pitch, this dude was calling pitches off the plate.
He was
in all directions except up. He wasn't calling
nothing
in,
up.
out, and down.
Yeah, nothing
in,
up.
out, and down was off the plate. Was fair game. Then the seventh pitch was 98 miles an hour, and then he swung through 97. So the Phillies went down there with again a golden opportunity. It was starting to feel like a little bit.
It was
like game
7.
Right, without the lead.
Right.
And then the Braves made that thought come to fruition, that fear come to life. Albies popped up, same exact swing.
Yeah, literally.
As he did in the first inning, and then Ranger got Austin Riley 0-2.
Oh my
and
god!
And Regz, so now let me say this. I will say, and when I looked at it, what I realized was he did throw a couple of changeups in this at bat. To start,
I think in the first at bat, he threw a lot to Riley, a couple changeups to Riley too, right?
Yeah, he threw changeup for strike 1, fastball for strike 2, changeup for a foul, and then changeup down, and it was out of the zone. So it's one of these at bats where you got to give, and because I texted someone, why even go off speed to Riley?
Yeah,
like, why even do it at this point? But he had gotten him early in the count. And honestly, I think, and someone, I forget, I think it might have been Riley. Someone texted me and said that pitch to Riley needs to be in the dirt. Like it's got to be in the dirt.
Yeah.
Like and then you elevate fast and see if he catches up. But that wasn't the case, and he put it just barely.
He literally hit the top of the fence.
Yeah. So and then the single to Olsen,
and it was like, yep.
This was the first time that I thought this is where I want to text Regz. And because I was terrified.
No offense, but I didn't think of texting you because I knew it was early, and I was like, I can't do it now. So my anxiety came later, but I was thinking the exact same thing. That my first thought is, like this isn't good.
Yeah. So yeah, Olsen smokes a line drive to left, and then he gets Ozuna to ground to a double. Which, again, great hustle, Marcell Ozuna.
Yeah,
just
good stuff by him.
Great hustle by Marcell Ozuna. Well done, sir. All right, so clearly the Phillies need to answer, and it's not easy against Spencer Strider. It's just not. But after JT strikeout, Nick Castellanos ambushed a first pitch slider. I mean, just turned on a first pitch slider, 108-mile exit velocity feet. On the first pitch, it was inner half. Just absolutely turned on it, roped it. The Phillies did not follow with anything else after that.
Yeah.
Let's just take a moment to recognize, and this was the first moment where I told you the base running, it was something was gonna happen. But it was the first of two of these moments. So reaction. Let Castellanos bomb.
I think my first reaction was, I'm so happy he's still hot. Because this guy being hot changes our team just changes it. Like, I don't care. And then my second thought was, I know we talk about sort of Trey and the sort of arc of his season. Think about Nick Castellanos this time last year and what a rut he was in and would continue to be in for the postseason. Every time he came up, we knew what was going to happen. We knew what was going to happen. And to see this guy like spitting on some sliders down and away, even taking fastballs in on his hands that he would usually swing at. It's just like, this is the Nick Castellanos that was advertised when he signed here. And I was just thinking about what a difference between those two ball players.
Yeah, locked in, man. He's incredibly.
It's unbelievable.
Locked in, and so then you're thinking to yourself, you're heading to the fifth. You know that this is Rangers' last inning.
Yeah.
They're not going to let him go back to the top. So Sean Murphy leads off with a single, and I'm like, uh-oh, here we go.
Yep.
But then he strikes out Pilar.
Yeah.
After a battle, Pilar battled him.
Yeah.
But he got him. Arcia lined out to Ross, and then a weak ground ball to second base, but Harris almost beat it.
Yeah, and then Ross almost doubled up Murphy on that line drive too.
That's right. Yeah. That's right. I forgot about that. How ironic would have that been?
That would have been fantastic.
If it was Arcia's line drive, right?
Yeah, that
would have been funny. So then the bottom of the fifth rolls around. Schwarber strikes out to start the inning. And then Trey. So, I think what's crazy and important to acknowledge is it just felt like this team was a couple of hitters short last year, right? Like the offense was just, they were just a couple of dudes off, They weren't getting production from Nick, like you just said. Bryce and Kyle were phenomenal.
Yeah. I mean, like at this point,
they were incredible.
Marsh was still not who he is today.
Right. I mean, Sosa was basically a platoon.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Schwarber was out and left every day. Bryce was DHing. Reese was like good in the NLCS, but in the World Series was
Gene was kind of the same way.
Gene didn't hit in the World Series.
Bryson
Stott didn't really hit in the World Series. Yep. Bohm was
just non-existent.
Yeah. Right. So, you kept thinking to yourself, man, if they just had two more dudes going and right. So you said about Nick and I'm going to go back to the other guy you mentioned part of the show. And that's Trey. Like, Trey has been unreal this postseason. Yeah. That swing in that moment, right? That swing in that moment to put them up a run on the first pitch again, ambush the slider, and just 104 miles an hour out, 400, almost the exact same distance as Nick. It feels like, it just feels like if they get one more dude starting to hit and Nick and Bryce and Trey stay hot and they get one more guy.
Yeah.
Just start.
Give me like a Stott or a Schwarber. Or, again, Marsh is still hot, right? Like, so him being down there.
Right. I mean, someone in like the top middle.
Yeah.
Homer right now, all they got going in that spot is Trey and Bryce. And you get one more dude going. If Schwarber gets going, forget it.
Yeah.
Like, if Schwarber starts hitting, just pack it in because there's no one to pitch to in the first three guys.
Yeah.
There's no one to pitch to. You can't pitch to any of them. So yeah, the Trey and Nick sort of duo. If there was an MVP in the division round, it would be Nick Castellanos by millions.
Yeah.
Millions.
Yeah.
I mean, what this guy did to have two back-to-back 2 homer games.
Did you see that he never done that in the regular season in his entire career?
I mean, Regz, it's unbelievable. Bryce walked following that. Another really good at bat from Bryce. Really locked in right now. And then poor Alec. Like, he comes up this time and he's like, I'm patient.
Yep.
He takes a pitch about 2 feet off the plate. 2 feet's an exaggeration. They call it a strike. Obviously.
Yep.
But it was not a strike.
No, it wasn't.
And then the next pitch is the same pitch. He swings at it, beats it into the ground, spins him, corkscrews himself, and grounds into a double play. And slams his helmet. Slams it.
Yeah.
Shattered it. So that was that. And then, you're back to, all right, well, we gotta get through this inning. This is Acuna Albies right.
Yep.
Gotta get through it. He got Acuna on one pitch. Got Albies to fly out weakly to left. And then Riley came up and smoked. So I was wondering, what are we going to do? It's 2-1. Are we going to go Olsen with Sir? Are we going to go to I thought like Soto or Strom here.
Yeah.
And
nope.
Topper was like, nope.
Yep.
Not happening. And went to Jose in the 6th. Jose, did his Jose thing, and in 5 pitches got Olsen. At first, I'm not gonna lie, I actually thought he got it.
I did too, but then when I saw Olsen kind of dip his head, I was like, "Oh, thank God!"
Yeah.
As soon as he hit it, I said, "Oh my God, he crushed it!" And then luckily they kind of stayed on him for a tick, and he kind of put his head down, and I was like, "Oh, thank God, he missed it."
Yeah. So then Phillies come up in the bottom half of the 6th. Bryson Stott struck out. And I've given Frenchie a lot of positive feedback during this postseason. This might have been the worst comment he's had. Not might have been. It was the worst comment from a color guy perspective. The pitch that Bryson struck out on was a changeup that was never close. Bryson just decided he was going to swing before the pitch was thrown. And Frenchie was like, that was a really good changeup from Spencer Strider.
It wasn't.
No, it wasn't.
No, it was
It was not a good pitch. It was not a good pitch. It was nowhere. It was never a strike out of the hand. It was just because Spencer Strider is so good.
Yeah.
And you were really only thinking either fastball or slider.
Yeah.
That at that point Bryson was guessing fastball.
Yeah. He's just trying to foul it off at that point.
Yeah. And he was swinging. So it was not a good pitch. Yeah. I'm not sure what that was about. JT flew out to the track. Close. And then Nick.
Just
Regz. So during that at bat, Roger was texting me and he was like, he's timing him up.
Yeah.
He's timing him up. He said it like twice. The 99 on the first pitch, he fouled it like straight back.
Yep.
Then he took the slider in the dirt, which is a pitch he swings at last year. Swung through 98 away, then fouled off 100.7. And that's when I got the text that was like he's right there. Next pitch 100 miles an hour, and he turns it around 112 miles an hour.
Oh my gosh, he hit that ball so hard.
Yeah, it was. And you know what, dude? The bat flip on both of those was, guys, like, take it. Like, we're doing this, right? And Liam's reaction both times.
Oh my God, yeah.
So they went and got Strider there. The place absolutely
went
erupted.
Nuts.
Strider was yelling into his glove on the mound.
That was such an enormous thing to happen because Strider was empty in the tank. He hit 101 on his 96th pitch.
He knew this was it.
Yeah. And to have that happen instead of getting a strikeout or something, I get it. We didn't score any more runs, but it was enormous for just the whole vibe of the game at that point. To get one more as he's walking out the door is like, see you, bud. You know, good luck.
Yeah, for sure. They did bring AJ Minter into the game, and Topper stuck with Brandon.
Yeah.
And he lined a single, well, grounded a single in the right field.
Yeah,
but he hit it
but
hard.
still, right.
Yeah, I mean, he hit it hard. It was like 90 miles an hour off the bat. And then Rojas popped up in the end. Poor Johan.
Yeah, poor Johan.
But here's the thing. Don't care. And we'll get to watch.
Yeah.
So they bring Alvarado back out. And I don't know what the hell happened. Because
the first two, it was like nothing. Yeah.
He got Ozuna on 1 pitch. He got Murphy on 3 pitches. And then all of a sudden,
it just fell
Kevin
apart.
Pillar just, I mean, kudos to Kevin Pillar.
He doesn't swing at anything.
And now I will say, none of the balls were
they weren't.
close.
Yeah, they weren't that competitive.
No. So for us to for that at bat. But here's the thing: he's also looking at he took a 96 mile an hour cutter, 100 mile an hour sinker, a 98 mile an hour sinker, and a 99 mile an hour sinker. So kudos to you.
Yeah.
And then it's Arcia, and again here this is a moment where I'm like I would definitely be texting Regz right now.
Yeah.
Arcia is going to do something here. They tried to live down and into Arcia.
Yeah.
And this is how I knew that, like, I don't think something was wrong with Alvarado here.
It's just too many pitches.
I just think it was too many pitches, and I think like the Braves had good at bats.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the pitch chart, the GameCast pitch chart, they're all down and in. They clearly had a plan for Arcia.
Mm-hmm.
And he just didn't chase. He chased 2 pitches, but he did, both pitches he chased were pretty close to the zone.
Yeah.
The 3 he didn't they were probably never strikes out of the hand. When you look at the pitches he chased, those both started strikes.
Yeah.
And he chases both. The other 4 are not even in the gray part of the box.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're starting out of the zone, right? So it's difficult to get chases when you're not even in the zone to start.
Yeah.
I think that's what makes guys like Wheeler and when Alvarado good tough to hit, because their stuff starts in the zone and then it's not in the zone. And again, Strider's the same way. So then he goes and gets Kimbrel in the 7th. So he basically did the inverse bullpen.
2 2-out walks was like, this is it.
Yeah. So they bring him in and Snicker counters with Travis d'Arnaud. Again, a moment that I would have texted you and been like, this ball is gonna land somewhere in the stands.
Somewhere in Harry the K's, yep.
He ends up actually walking d'Arnaud and loading the bases for our greatest fear, Ronald Acuna.
Yeah.
And
Kimbrel did not look sharp, by the way. Pulling all his fastballs.
God, no, he didn't. No. The first pitch he throws gets by JT.
Yeah. This was ridiculous.
Pillar froze.
Yeah.
Now, they said on the broadcast they think he scores. I don't know.
He does. He's halfway down. So? Yes. He's halfway down the line. Kimbrel's going to have to meet him at the plate, get a tag down, and the throw's going to have to be perfect.
But I trust JT to make a perfect throw, actually. Like, I don't know.
I hear you, but like everything for the Phillies has to go right. That's a really hard play. Because you have a pitcher covering home plate.
A guy who doesn't make a ton of tags.
Exactly.
Yeah,
not they don't practice tags with pitchers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, there's a very good chance Pillar, with a head first slide, makes it and scores a run.
Yeah, that's fair. I don't think it was going to be a clean.
It was going to be close, but I think he still scores.
Fair. So the at bat continues.
Yeah.
And eventually Ronald Acuna hits a ball 98 miles an hour off the bat.
Jesus.
It goes 380 feet to the deepest part of Citizens Bank Park.
Thank God.
And Johan Rojas, you convinced me of this. Definitely saw Brandon Marsh out of the corner of his eye, looked at him, found the ball again, leaps, makes a game-saving catch.
Not only looked at him, stopped running. He put on the absolute brakes for a split second. And if you want to know what's going through my mind, the only thing that I'm thinking before he actually catches it is they let that ball drop. Because I saw him stop. I saw it happen. I saw his eyes go this way. I saw him put the brakes on. And then I said, that ball's dropped. And then he freaking caught it, man.
Well,
I don't care if you go 0 for 100. Just keep doing that.
Yeah. I think, my take last time that we recorded last night was, does he continue to play? And I don't see how he doesn't, because Brandon Marsh doesn't make that play. I think Christian Pache.
I'm sure he's there. I'm sure Pache is there. Yeah. Yes.
But I don't know. It's just at this point, like, you've got enough offense that of course you don't want the 9-hitter to be out when you have the stage. But I'm also curious to see how he does in a new series. Like, who knows?
But look, it's
who knows?
It's the kid's first time. Like, we didn't take out Bryson Stott last year because it was his first postseason.
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Yes, we did. And Mundo Sosa played.
All right, but like even Bomer, like, you know what I mean? Like, it's almost, his defense is so good that it's worth getting the experience of this.
That's the difference between Bryson Stott last year and Johan Rojas this year. Bryson Stott was not yet a major league shortstop.
Right.
And so when you faced a lefty, you knew you were getting major defense with Sosa.
Yeah.
What Rojas is giving you is elite center field defense.
Yes.
And good teams win with solid defense up the middle.
Yeah.
Right now, they're still getting Gold Glove defense from JT Realmuto. They're getting Gold Glove defense from
Stott's playing unbelievable second base right now.
Trey Turner, not so much.
Yeah.
But Johan Rojas is playing
that good.
Gold
He's
Glove
that
center
good.
field.
Yeah.
So at this point, you just keep him out there.
And it's like we talked about, a full off season with Kevin Long shortens that swing. Change it. Like,
it's legitimately the same issues we saw with Bryson Stott.
Yeah.
Last year. Now Stott had the pedigree of being a really good hitter.
Yeah.
Rojas, maybe not. But if I can get 250, 240 out of Rojas.
Again, we're not asking for a ton here.
No, I don't need it.
I need him to still hit 300 during the regular season in his at bats.
But right now he's facing elite.
Oh no! Look, again, the playoffs is a completely different story. So I totally agree, and I still think his swing is long for what that guy needs to do with the baseball. But that stuff, like, you can fix that. Yeah, and it seems like the guy's got the right attitude towards that kind of stuff. That he's not unwilling to work at it.
Mm-hmm. So we move then to the bottom of the 7th, and Schwarber
also, I watched that replay 100 times.
Oh yeah, it was a great play. Fantastic play.
Just to be he effing stopped running, but still caught the ball.
I mean, but if he doesn't make that play, they're losing the game.
Yes,
they're down 4-3.
Yes,
like Nicky Lopez is scoring if he doesn't make that play. And honestly, it hits that.
It depends on which side of the wall it goes. Yep.
And kicks away Acuna probably.
Acuna's
it's
flying.
an inside the park grand. Yeah, it's an inside the park grand slam. It's the only time he's going to hustle all night.
Saw what you did there. Yeah, I saw what you did there.
All right, cool. Trey Turner singled for his 4th hit of the night.
First Philly ever, by the way, to go.
Harp almost put the game.
Oh my God.
On ice. Like,
oh my God.
Dude, he was this close.
It was close. An inch.
You knew, when you watch them when they hit it.
Yeah.
And he's looking, he's measuring.
Yeah.
And his head went too high. I knew he did not get it.
God.
And then they showed the replay of him throw his head up in the air. and how frustrated he was.
God, he just
so then
missed
they brought
it.
in freaking journeyman Pierce Johnson, who just has this nasty curveball that no one can seem to touch. Threw a wild pitch, so Trey went second. Bomer had a good at bat. This was a good way for Bomer to end his night.
Yeah.
It was a good way for Bomer to end his night. Not a good way for Bryson Stott to end his night.
Yeah.
Hat trick tonight for Bryson
Tough.
Stott. So tough night for him against a couple of righties with nasty breaking balls. So hopefully he finds it again for the Diamondback series, the NLCS. So come back in the 8th and go back to Kimbrel. And I wasn't sure about this.
I didn't like this again, at all.
A Regz moment.
This is when I wanted to text you so much. I hated this. I hated it. My brother texted me, there's no one, like, they're not going to put him back out, are they? And I said, of course not. He doesn't do this. This isn't what you don't do this with Craig Kimbrel. Yeah. He's like, what has he done this 5 times in his entire career? Like, you just don't do it. And then they showed the Phillies bullpen, and there was no one. It was crickets.
Here's the thing. I'm wondering if, like, what the faith is in Jeff Hoffman right now. I'm wondering if it's because the Braves have seen a lot of Hoffman over the last few weeks that they were like, you know what?
He was warming up at one point.
He was, yeah.
I thought he got hurt. I thought he something happened while he was warming up.
Nah, they just didn't use him. It came down to, I think, he did not look good in this series.
Yeah.
I think that the Braves have seen enough of him to know that it's going to be the slider.
Yeah.
And I think we'll see him again in the Diamondback series, at least early in that series. But I think they're starting to get a little bit more faith in Sir.
Yes.
And he's looking more and more confident, and what a boost that would be for them if he has that confidence. So they bring back Craig, and honestly, man, good for Craig.
Unbelievable.
A really, really good.
I couldn't believe it.
The 3-2 pitch to Ozzy Albies on the corner was filth.
Yeah, it was.
Like 95 on the edge.
Yeah.
That's a strike if he doesn't swing at it.
Pitch, yeah.
And a lazy fly ball to Rojas. And then he just went vintage Kimbrel against Riley. Like, he just reared back and threw straight fastball.
Yeah.
4 straight fastballs. And got Riley to swing and at them. And then Topper, and so if you would have been texting me, you would have gotten a text that said, I do think Kimbrel's going back out, and I think he's going to face both Albies, because Albies does not hit right-handed pitching. He's going to face Riley, and then they're for Olsen. I felt really good about that text afterward, because it's exactly what and Soto, this was the most terrifying moment of my fandom.
Yeah.
Regz, I don't think I've ever, after a huge out, felt as deflated as I felt in this moment. I thought Bryce was done.
Yeah. I just said this can't be what happens.
Baseball gods, you cannot do this.
That's what I said. I said this can't be how this happens.
No. So he this was partially inexperience at first base.
Yes.
He hesitated, thinking he had to make this play.
He went towards the ball. He didn't just hesitate. He went towards it.
If he just understands
just breaks to the
positioning
base.
and breaks to the base, and this is now the second time it's happened this postseason.
Yeah.
Where he has not gone to the base.
Yep.
And broke toward the ball, and it cost them. Well, almost cost them tonight. But so then on his way through the bag, Olsen runs right into the elbow.
His knee hits right on the back of his elbow.
But he said to John Clark after the game, they just got him.
Let's hope that's the truth.
I mean, I don't think he's lying about it, dude. Like, he came back in the game.
Yeah.
Like, if it was now, the funny bone could lead to type of contusion, because that's how, like, I banged up my ulnar nerve. I got hit in the elbow, and it right in the funny bone.
Yeah.
And it ended up being that my ulnar nerve came out of place. But if it's the same, I lived with that for 3 years, without any issue, and then all of a sudden my hand. So he's Bryce Harper. I'm not super concerned about it, and if he needs to get that surgery, he can get it after the year. It's 5 weeks, 6 weeks, and he's fine again. For him, it's a day, and he's probably back swinging. He's freaking Bryce Harper, and he's But they get out of the inning, still have the 3-1 lead. They go to the bottom of the 8th. Real Muto flies out. Castellanos singles.
Yeah, hits it really hard too.
Yeah, he is just so locked in right now. And then Marshy struck out. Good pitch from Johnson.
No, that thing wasn't a strike out of his hand. It bounced.
It's the back. It's what we talked about. That back foot slider is a very difficult pitch for him. Not everybody has it. And then they brought in Iglesias because they wanted to make sure that it stayed where it was.
Yep.
So here was the moment where I was like, Topper, I trust you all the time. I was not great about bringing Soto out.
Yeah.
Up downs are hard. Alvarado's gotten better with up downs.
Yeah.
You did it with Kimbrel and it worked.
Somehow.
Why are we trying to?
Right.
Why are we trying?
Why are we rolling this dice again? Yep.
Why are we going to the well a third time?
Yeah.
Right. And Soto it didn't look good from the start.
Yeah.
Now, I know he got into a full count, but there was something that just didn't.
It was almost from the first pitch.
Right.
It was just.
Yeah. So he walks Ozuna. Murphy hits that bullshit chopper.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Out of the infield. And I will say, what a play by Nick to even make that close at third.
Yeah.
Almost got him. So I'm sitting there like, we all know what's happening.
Yeah.
We know what's happening.
Yep.
Like, there's no doubt in our minds.
Yeah.
And so they go to Strami.
Yeah.
And now Matt Strom has been my dude all year. Like, I've been a Matt Strom guy from the jump. And this guy has done a lot for this team. And I think most of it's being forgotten right now.
Yeah.
And some of it is probably not even realized by the people who just started following. So for those of you, I'm not gatekeeping.
Yeah.
I've let go of that. I'm just saying, and everybody knows it's true. There are people who started following this team on September 30th.
Yeah.
Fine. Thank you for joining the party and for being like, but you did not watch the Matt Strom starts in April and May when he was eating 5 innings every fifth day because we didn't have a starter.
Right.
So we've used a lot of Strom. He's gassed. He's had a rough end of the season, so people doubt him quite a bit. But what a freaking job Matt Strom did tonight. What a freaking job he did.
Unbelievable.
I mean, comes in, gets Pilar, but shatters Pilar's bat.
Yep.
And I'll be honest,
I thought it was a bloop. I said, you gotta be joking that these are the 2 hits that just happened. It was my first thought was that ball's over Trey's head and no one's gonna get to it. I said, you can't be serious.
It's because Trey didn't move.
Yeah. And then I just said, thank God. Like when I saw him just watching it, the instant he hit it, I said, that's another blooper.
Yeah. So then you would ask me when I called you after you that didn't know. And you asked me why not Hoffman there? Why not Hoffman at all? And the answer, so going back to that, even, the only bullet you have left on your bench is Eddie Rosario.
Yeah.
And look, the dude can pop one against righties at any time. He can pop one, period.
Yeah.
But he's far less effective against left-handed pitching. It's why they have Kevin Pillar. So they just platoon the 2 of them. So the hope was that they wouldn't use him, and if they did, you still hold the advantage, right? So they brought Strom in with the intent of if they decide to bring Rosario off the bench, it's against.
Yeah.
And they brought him in, and he threw 1 pitch and hit a weak fly ball to Brandon.
Yep. Not enough to score the run.
No. And then the only guy you have left on is Vaughn Grissom.
I thought this son of a bitch was going to hit a home. I thought.
I never thought home run. I thought he was going to extend the game, and then Cunha was going to shatter.
Yeah.
Into. That's what I thought.
Yeah.
But a great job by Strom in this at bat. Because what I loved about what was he went with the fastball, threw the slider for a ball.
Yep.
Twice. The fastball was in the zone.
Yeah.
But he went slider down twice. Back foot, that same pitch that we talk about with Marsh. And usually in this situation, and what I think made the difference for him tonight was usually he goes upstairs.
Yeah.
And he didn't. He went down to the back leg. And got out of it. So so I feel like appreciation to Matt Strom. What a dog. To go out there and get those 3 outs. Like I assumed he was going to give up one. Like I assumed Acuna was going to
at
least a
Arcia,
sacrifice.
or not Arcia, Ozuna.
Ozuna, yeah. Did I say Acuna?
You did say Acuna.
Sorry, I was sure
that
Ozuna was.
But then it's like, who cares? Like, just get the double play and just worry about the batter.
Fine.
Yeah.
Fine. He didn't even allow that to happen.
It's unbelievable.
Strami, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Fantastic.
Just a tremendous job. So the Phils are moving on, Regs, to the NLCS for the second straight season. They will have a very tough matchup, one that we're going to preview this weekend. This is a red hot Arizona.
Yep.
Red hot. Went into Milwaukee. Now, we talked about Milwaukee. We were worried about Milwaukee from Ching.
Yes.
That offense isn't good in Milwaukee. It's not a good offense. But Arizona did hit that pitching right. Milwaukee's not Philadelphia in terms of home field.
Yeah.
And then they played the Dodgers, who they're also very familiar with, who don't have any pitching whatsoever. Yeah. And playing in LA in the postseason is
it's like
a thing.
Yeah.
Like they truly, like, fans come in very late in those games. So, you know, there are definitely guys on that roster to worry about. Ketel Marte is very good. Corbin Carroll is
unbelievable.
Christian Walker is absolutely unreal, especially against the Phillies.
Yeah.
But the Braves are the best team the Phillies are going to face.
Yeah.
The Diamondbacks might be the hottest team unless they end up. So we'll talk about it. We're not going to do it now.
Yeah.
It's just a heads up that this is not going to be
an
easy series for the Phillies.
Yeah.
It's not. And they have 2 studs at the front.
Yep.
They've got one of the best in the freaking game.
Yeah.
Starting game 1. And someone behind him who's not too shabby either.
Mm-hmm.
So buckle up.
Yeah.
This is going to be the good news is with this win, the Phillies line up their rotation.
Yes. Huge.
And that is
huge.
Just incredibly enormous for this team. To be able to line up Wheeler and Nola in games 1 is just incredibly important.
Yeah.
We will see Taijuan Walker in this. Well, maybe not. We might see Sanchez.
Yeah.
I don't know. You might see the combination of the two starting Taijuan.
Yeah.
In a game 4. I think it really just depends on point. But listen, it's going to be exciting, man.
Yeah.
Like it is not easy to do this.
No.
To get to this point is very difficult ever, but to do it 2 consecutive years is just incredible. The other thing to keep your eye on as we enter this series is Rhys Hoskins. Is it possible?
I mean,
that he ends up on the NLCS roster?
I would probably still say no. I think they're just waiting for the World Series roster. I don't think it's CS if I'm honest.
Okay. We'll see. I mean,
we'll see.
Super,
I'm like, who the hell? What the hell do I know?
It's interesting. Who knows? Yeah. I don't know who comes off if he gets on, right? Like, I don't even know who's off the roster.
Yeah, I don't know either.
But here's something else kind of fun to pay attention to on the other side is the Astros would be the rematch, and I think everybody would be up for it.
Yeah.
But the Phillies would get home field advantage against the Astros, who won the West.
Yeah.
Right? Their opponent, an AL West rival, Texas Rangers, if they win, they would hold home field advantage against the Phillies
because
the season series. So interestingly enough, the team who's the higher seed would concede home field advantage against but the Rangers.
Yeah.
Something they're fun to kind of watch on this bracket. But for now, we get to enjoy another, we get a 7-game series, man.
Yeah.
Like, we get another 4 games of Phillies baseball either way.
Yeah.
Guaranteed. And I do think it's probably going to go more.
Yeah.
I don't see either team sweeping.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, the way the business with which the Phillies are playing baseball right now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
And with home field advantage from the jump. Like,
yeah. That's going to be important. Backs have really in Zach Gallen. So they're not going to they haven't experienced this.
Yeah.
But they're going to know what it is.
Yeah.
They're going to know what to expect when they come in. Zach Gallen and Zach Wheeler, one hell of a game.
Yeah.
Good God.
Jesus.
That is going to be, you're going to have 2 pitchers shoving on Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
Holy moly. But we're going to bring you that preview on Saturday night. We're going to record it. So you'll have it on Sunday with the Eagles preview game on a evening 4:05. That game is played at the Meadowlands. But for the time being, one final point. Two sort of final points. The first being, if you are one of these people that is, the playoff format, drop it. I'm done. I don't want to hear it anymore. No one said anything after game 2. We all forgot after game 2, right? Look back at the history of the Dodgers. Look back at the history of the. This is not new. This is not new that they have struggled in the postseason. The Dodgers have really had a difficult outside 2020, the shortened season, winning in the postseason. Right? This is nothing new for them. Yes, maybe they haven't always lost in the. Maybe it's been the World Series. Maybe it's been the CS. But losing in the postseason is not something new for the Dodgers. The Braves, similarly, if you look back over the last decade, have not been a great playoff team. I know that some people are going to point to the Orioles. The Orioles were a fun story this year, and I truly enjoyed following that story. I think they're a very talented team with an extremely bright future, but they lack in playoff pitching a lot. So that's something that they're going to have to improve on to be competitive in the postseason, especially if you're going to play a team like the Rangers, who are one of the best offenses in baseball.
Yeah.
The Astros didn't seem to have an issue, right? Like they didn't, it doesn't seem to bother them. Last year, they didn't lose a game until they got to the World Series and lost to the Phillies. So I think it's really, I don't know that we have enough data to change it yet. I think that you're looking at 2 teams who have really struggled in the postseason in their recent history. And I don't think we can just look at them. Last year, the Astros and the Yankees both advanced with ease.
Right.
So, I feel like we need a little more time. I guarantee you, Regz, that if you gave these teams a choice as to whether or not they wanted to play 3 extra games or take a week to rest, they'd all take the rest.
The week. Absolutely, they would.
No one wants to put themselves at risk of being eliminated before the NLDS.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, they don't.
No.
I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. But in my opinion,
I don't think so.
I think if faced with that opportunity, they're saying no.
Yeah.
So that's number 1. Here's my number 2. The Braves, the fans, and the excuses. From what we just talked about to this whole Harper thing. Someone tweeted a great thread today. Like
she was one of the reporters in the room.
One of the reporters who reported it.
Right.
She said.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna see if I can find it and pull it up real quickly. I'm not gonna read the whole. But basically, what she says is, if there are cameras rolling and reporters are reporting, then you're fair game.
Yeah.
You're absolutely fair game. And if you have reporters who aren't willing to report that, then they're not doing their job.
Right.
They're doing what players should be doing.
Yeah.
And one thing that you and I talked about last night was this whole idea of like veterans stepping up and making sure that you don't screw up and say stupid stuff like he did. Someone posted a video of Darren Daulton in 1993.
Yeah.
After they had one more game to beat the Braves, and he legitimately is standing in the middle of the clubhouse before the media gets in there. Don't you dare say anything stupid to the papers. We still have to win one more game.
Yeah.
Don't you dare say anything stupid. So why that and that's what I think I don't know if I might have texted you this before today's game because we were texting before the game. But I said I'm really confident because this Braves team, there's no true leader on that roster. There's no one in that clubhouse who came and stood in front of a camera and said he screwed up. Not a single one of them did. Not a single one of them did the right thing.
Yeah.
Look, it's not even a big deal. Like it's not. The Phillies and as a fan base, we made it a big.
Of course.
Because
why wouldn't
wanted
we?
To.
Yeah.
But it wasn't like what he said wasn't like
right.
It wasn't racist. It wasn't, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't anything.
It was nothing
off color.
Right.
It wasn't anything off color. It was just he was saying something that you probably say when your doors are closed and there's no media. But you said it, and then you tried to defend it because you didn't think he should have heard. No. You don't play that off on the media.
Yeah.
You own it, and that's it. Be done with it. Move along. So Braves fans, like, you done and barked up the wrong tree. You tugged on Superman cape. You spit into the wind. You did all the things, and you done and fine.
Enjoy your off season.
Have fun. Enjoy your very forgettable 104 win season because no one's going to remember it when the Phillies are lifting the trophy in 2 weeks. Because Regz, I'm telling you,
damn straight,
it is happening. It is happening. I think they are so locked in right now.
Yep.
And I think there's a mission, and this is a group of guys that they're determined to accomplish that mission.
It's amazing to beat teams like the Braves to get back to the place that no one thought you should have been there in the first place. Last year, no one thought we should be there.
No. And that's the funny part. No one thought we should be there again.
Yeah.
We're a 90-win team. Yeah. And a 90-win team who was missing their 40 home run first baseman and didn't have an MVP candidate for a month and a half.
And what? Finished 14 games behind the Braves for the division?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, but people didn't think that we could compete with the Braves just because of the standings. And what I loved about Nick's interview after was what he said when asked about, you beat this 104-win team. And he said, you know what I'm learning? That the regular season and the postseason are very different. It's a different animal.
Yeah.
And he's totally right. Like, it takes a certain mentality to win in the postseason. And I people are starting to call it a glorified tournament. It doesn't really best team in baseball. So say the Phillies win, right? Say the Phillies win this postseason. They win the World Series. Can you really not look at their roster and say that it's arguably the best team in baseball?
Right.
Like if the Diamondbacks win, I'd say, okay, fine. We can have that conversation.
But like
if the Astros win, again, you could argue that's the best team in baseball. Even the Rangers, you could say, looking at that team, especially their offense, it's one of the best teams in baseball. You have 4 teams left, 3 of which you could absolutely say are 3 top teams in baseball. And Arizona played like it all year. They were in first place until like the last month of the season. So like, I'm sorry, this whole idea of like the tournament is unpredictable and it's not crowning the best team. The season's a marathon, right? Like that's absolutely. But 90 wins is nothing to sneeze at. 90 wins isn't like we snuck in. 90 freaking wins. Like, and if you have Harper and Hoskins for the full year, you're probably 96. If Ranger's not hurt for half the season, you're probably 96.
Alvarado's hurt in the middle of the year. Like
you didn't have Alvarado for almost 3 months this year. Like Sir Anthony was hurt.
Like, yep.
They were missing guys. Like, and I know that teams deal with injuries. I don't know what the Braves dealt with, if I'm being honest. I don't know if they did. Looking at their numbers, you don't put up that amount of home in shortened seasons. At least not severe injuries to the point where, again, they missed some pitching here in the postseason. But I think, again, that goes to this whole idea of like get to the postseason place. And sure, if they were cold, they were cold. But I'm just not buying that the bye is the reason.
Pass.
So that kind of wraps that, man.
Yeah.
What a fun couple days for us.
Stressful, fun. Thank God they pulled it off.
I wouldn't have been able to do Saturday.
No, I need to sleep. It's pushing 1:30. I think I got 4 hours of sleep last night, and I'm shooting towards that tonight as well. I am not a young man anymore, so these mornings have been rough. But listen, my oldest son got to stay up with us tonight. Me being there with my boys yesterday, again, is like a memory that I hope they never forget. Seeing all those home runs and being there for that. It's a blast. I've said it a million times. I love this baseball team. I love experiencing this kind of stuff, even though I'm sure it's taking years off my life. But bring it on. Bring on the next series and hopefully more after that. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna let you get to bed here. I have to actually pack, check out tomorrow. So, but look, we're gonna get set here. The second consecutive year of the Phillies playing NL West team NLCS, and hopefully we get the same result and we get to go back and do this whole World Series thing all over again, but different outcome. But until Sunday morning, we appreciate you listening. We appreciate you tuning in. Our post-game reaction pods. Make sure that you follow us everywhere. Click subscribe to the YouTube channel, subscribe to wherever you get your podcasts. But until we talk to you, please make sure that you take care of yourself. Take care of others around you. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to others around you. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Phillies advancing to the second straight year. We love you. We are so appreciative that you play the way that you do, that you play with the heart that you play with, and that you represent the city of Philadelphia the way that you each and every day on the baseball field. Regz, I'm going to just say, for the fun of it, go Phils, go home Braves.
Go Phils, baby.
Oh my God. Deep to right field. Way up there and way out of here.
The Philadelphia Eagles are Super Bowl champions. Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, struck him out. The Philadelphia Phillies are 2008 World Champions of Baseball.